The young man returned to 10 years ago, not only successfully activating a hack, but also securing the entry card of the enchanting female instructor. Vo Dick, with an air of superiority, had devoted all her key resources to attract Fuang Bin. Just follow me, and you'll have ample access to elixirs. Seeing Fuang Bin's astonished expression, Vo Dick laughed. Do you think I'm joking? She casually produced 10 blood chi pills, presenting them to Fuang Bin like a precious gift. The shimmering light from the elixirs in Vo Dick's hands made Fuang Bin think to himself. She is truly generous. To casually give away 10 blood chi pills, worth millions in silver, surely means she stands to gain significantly. To pass up such an opportunity would be foolish. Fuang Bin quickly accepted the blood chi pills, and a notification from the system echoed, his wealth increasing by 1 million. With a face full of excitement, Fuang Bin declared, Professor, from now on, I will follow you. Vo Dick said little, immediately tossing her dorm entry card to Fuang Bin. From now on, you can seek me out anytime for training. Unable to contain himself, Fuang Bin exclaimed, so professional. If you like it, go ahead and hit like. Suddenly, Duong Tang spoke up, you must take responsibility for your students. Over the years, more than half of the 12 students you mentored have perished before graduation. Hearing this, Fuang Bin shuddered. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Is it still too late to regret? Vo Dick shot Duong Tang a glance. You needn't worry about this. At that moment, True Tuyat Mai unexpectedly stepped forward. Master Vu, may I choose you? Of course. You may. Welcome aboard. Fuang Bin could hardly believe his eyes. Following Duong Su Tu's advice to choose Vo Dick, this girl was indeed formidable. Just then, Fu Trong Din approached, throwing an arm around Fuang Bin's shoulders. Actually, her name is not Vo Dick. Her real name is Lu Fong Nung. This really is not the same at all. Fu Trong Din continued, though her students have a rather high casualty rate, her strength is not inferior to Duong Tang. Fuang Bin asked skeptically, then why didn't you choose her? Because I want to learn firearms. So I will choose the instructor Lo Wai Suyen. Aren't you afraid Duong Su Tu will come after you? Fu Trong Din hesitated before replying. What is there to fear? I, Fu Trong Din, am not a coward. Moreover, our leader is True Loi, and the one who attacked you, Duong Tiu Man, has also chosen her. Do you really think she would be concerned about me? Indeed, many had mentally prepared themselves before making their choices. The professor has completed her selection. The two approached the logistics department of Ma Vu to receive their credits. How many points do you think we can exchange? After being beaten to a pulp like this, to not receive any additional credits would be utterly unworthy of my beauty. The young man had crossed over 10 years into the past. Successfully activating outer form, he had received an unprecedented colossal reward right after enrolling. After selecting their teachers, Fuang Bin and Fu Trong Din made their way to the logistics department of Ma Vu to claim their credits. The two entered the lobby on the first floor, a space dedicated exclusively to new students. Fu Trong Din walked ahead. Hello, teacher. Could you help me check my credits? The teacher at the counter immediately got goosebumps. What's your name? Student Id? I only got 45 points. Is there a mistake? I've defeated quite a few opponents. Why is it so low? Alright. Next in line, Fuang Bin. He stepped forward confidently, declaring his name. Bonus points. 152 points. The teacher gazed at him in astonishment. I've been working for 3 years, and I've never seen anything like this. Which new student has ever been awarded so many points? Fu Trong Din's face turned pale. How come my points are so much lower? Fuang Bin smirked. Because I'm far stronger than you. Then he inquired, besides exchanging for elixirs, do bonus points have any other uses? The teacher explained, from dining to resting, from using training grounds to borrowing advanced support equipment. In general, within Ma Vu, there's no issue that cannot be resolved with credits. Moreover, credits and cash can be exchanged for each other. 1 point is equivalent to 10,000, and 3,000 can be exchanged for 1 point. Isn't that a bit unfair? The teacher frowned. The school does not encourage students to use money to exchange for credits. However, some students are unable to exchange, and they even struggle with basic needs. That's why special opportunities are provided for them. Not to mention me, I haven't prepared anything to exchange either. Fuang Bin sighed, realizing that no matter how wealthy a family might be, they could not endure this plight. Fuang Bin opened the system, and to his surprise, he had already earned a significant number of asset points in just the first week of the semester. Adding to his previous health points, his total now reached 4 million points. A satisfied smile curled at the corners of Fuang Bin's mouth. It was time for an emotional explosion. Hit that like button now. The two headed towards the resource exchange area, preparing to acquire some precious elixirs. The exchange privileges were only partially open to newcomers, but 3 vials of elixirs were enough to satisfy them. As he gazed at the exchange list, Fuang Bin was lost in thought. A second-rank protective elixir on the market was worth 2 million. But here, it only cost 60 credits, or 600,000. Fuang Bin's eyes lit up. So I can buy elixirs and sell them for a profit, while also increasing my asset value? Indeed, I am quite the cunning one. Back in the dormitory, Fuang Bin lay on his bed, troubled in thought. If it weren't for the system, I might not have been able to face those second-rank Wu masters today. After breaking through to become a Wu master, they will begin to train deeper into certain bones, significantly increasing their strength. No matter how talented I am still just a third-rank Wu master. How can my bones be as tough as theirs? I can no longer hesitate. Tomorrow I must seek out Vo Dick and swiftly achieve a new level. Oh, is it time to prepare for the teachings to begin? The young man who traveled back 10 years, successfully activated external transformation, and surpassed the dancers upon enrollment, re-establishing the record for ascending to higher levels. After the battle at the branch academy, Fuang Bin keenly felt the inadequacy of his strength, determined to find Vo Dick to quickly surpass his current rank. The next morning, Fuang Bin arrived at Vo Dick's dormitory. Vo Dick opened the door with a relaxed expression. His physique was truly remarkable. Fuang Bin, with a youthful spirit, suddenly blushed with embarrassment. Vo Dick pulled Fuang Bin closer. Are you really this handsome? Or are you just getting a bit closer? Fuang Bin smiled. It wasn't too bad. Actually, the two entered the living room together. What brings you here so early? After a moment of silence, Fuang Bin replied, I want to break through to become a dancer. Vo Dick chuckled. Oh, I thought you would take until the 4th time to break the skeletal structure. Fuang Bin replied helplessly. No matter how strong a Wu master is, they are still just a Wu master. At first, I thought I was quite powerful with 3 breaks of the skeletal structure. But after the battle at the branch academy, I realized the vast distance between myself and a Wu master. With arms crossed over his chest, Vo Dick said, choosing this moment to become a Wu master is indeed a wise decision. You must be aware of the difficulty in breaking the skeletal structure of the entire body. Continuing to the 4th time would merely be a waste of time, offering no benefit. Once you step into the 1st rank, everything will change. You can choose a 9th level skeleton for training. At this moment, the advantages of being at the 3rd level will be evident. Subsequent training will become easier for others, as you only need to open 6 meridians to suffice. Moreover, not all dancers practice meridian techniques, most focus on opening 14 meridians. Once you surpass the 1st rank, you will be able to connect through many other meridians, allowing for deeper and more refined energy flow. After saying this, Vo Dick asked Fuang Bin if he had brought any elixirs. Fuang Bin promptly produced a pile of elixirs. Looking at the table brimming with elixirs, Vo Dick couldn't help but burst into laughter. You brought too many. I, Lu Feng Nhu, have never encountered a student as afraid of death as you. In fact, with your condition, even without these elixirs, your chances of success are quite high. Fuang Bin gave a thumbs up. Isn't it because I'm afraid you all won't hit like? I saw your match yesterday. You must have already practiced the skeletal structure in your lower legs. Right? When you break through later, remember the sequence of expansion. First, you must clear the main meridian in your lower legs. Penetrate and expand randomly, or you will pay a heavy price. Fuang Bin declared with unwavering determination, crossing his legs and preparing to attack like a true dancer. The blood energy within him began to surge and spread fiercely. Vo Dick stood silently, his gaze contemplative as he observed each of Fuang Bin's movements, questioning in his heart. Looking at his appearance, it seemed that he could overcome any challenge without the blood energy pill. With this thought, Fuang Bin immediately grasped the pill and swallowed it whole. Truly, the fear was overwhelming. Vo Dick couldn't help but ponder as he watched Fuang Bin. This boy was indeed a genius. But my students, who among them isn't a genius? Memories of past students flooded back, yet sorrow had stolen them all away on the battlefield. At this thought, the pain in his heart became unbearable. He silently vowed never to let emotions affect his teaching again. Just then, Fuang Bin suddenly erupted with a powerful surge of blood energy. His eyes widened, and the system's announcement echoed, "Congratulations. He has advanced to the rank of a level 1 dancer." Fuang Bin felt the blood energy surging within him. Overwhelmed with joy, "I've finally done it." The boy from 10 years ago, with the activation of external form, had successfully surpassed the limits of a dancer in just 2 days. Yet in this world, those who stand out often find themselves in trouble. Before long, troubles came knocking. Under Vo Dic's guidance, Fuang Bin, with his ascended rank, successfully broke through to become a martial artist. Fuang Bin exclaimed excitedly, "Master, I've succeeded in my breakthrough." Vo Dic replied coldly, "What is there to celebrate? You shattered your bone structure 3 times, becoming a martial artist was inevitable. While your main meridians are clear, take the blood energy pill to recover your blood energy and check your current peak." Fuang Bin immediately swallowed a regular blood energy pill. The system announced that his blood energy increased by 40. Why did I consume so much blood energy? Fuang Bin wondered. Confused, isn't 1 blood energy pill enough? A sense of helplessness washed over him. Perhaps I should use my resources, I need to conserve my pills. At this moment, Vo Dic suddenly expressed surprise. This kid is recovering his blood energy at an astonishing rate. Could it be that he is absorbing a type of powerful pill? Or are all level 3 individuals like this? Vo Dic called Fuang Bin back. Go home and familiarize yourself with this explosive flow of blood energy. Next Saturday, at the new student training center, I will teach you a few self-defense techniques. Fuang Bin smiled gently. That's great. I never expected to start learning martial arts techniques so quickly, in the campus courtyard. Fu Zong Din suddenly shouted. Fuang Bin, you're incredible. You've only been here for 2 days and you've already broken through to become a warrior, Fuang Bin casually replied. Everyone, remember to hit like. Breaking through to become a warrior is nothing remarkable, it's quite easy. Really? Fu Zong Din looked at Fuang Bin with a skeptical expression. You cheated, didn't you? Fuang Bin laughed and answered. Of course, I not only cheated, but I also used a very expensive hack. Fu Zong Din was so furious he could scarcely find words. I don't care, after all. You had to treat me today. Let's go to the second cafeteria of the school. Fuang Bin sighed with a smile. I thought you wanted some extravagant delicacies. But it turns out you just want the cafeteria. Well, feel free to order whatever you like. But in the next moment, Fuang Bin froze, then spat out a mouthful of blood. That's way too expensive. Isn't this just robbery? Fu Zong Din laughed with delight. The second cafeteria is the special dining hall for the 5 great masters. All the dishes have ingredients from blood chi pills. It's not that expensive. You say it's not expensive? Your family must send you living expenses in the millions. Right? Are you kidding? Do you think my family's money isn't real? No matter how rich my family is, dishes like this aren't something you can eat regularly. Aren't you the one treating? Fuang Bin erupted in anger. Oh my, just order a few dishes. While the two were eating, several upperclassmen approached. Oh, isn't this the new king? Fuang Bin? Do you know Wang Jinyang? Indeed, what is meant to happen will happen. The young man who traveled back 10 years has successfully activated the hack. A legendary battle ensued, renowned everywhere, but troubles also followed, transforming into a superior level. Fuang Bin invited Fu Zong Din to the luxurious cafeteria of Ma Vu for a meal. At this moment, several 5th-year students approached. Fuang Bin sighed, as if what was meant to come had already arrived. He set down his chopsticks and said blandly, I know Wang Jinyang, but if you want revenge, go find him, he has far too many enemies already. I can't bear this. First, my master is invincible, with a mentor protecting me. You should think twice before causing trouble. Second, you are 2nd rank, while I have just broken through to 1st rank. If you rely on rank to pick on me, the school won't allow it. Third, everyone has already hit like. Do you dare to lay a finger on me? The lead upperclassman smiled. How generous. Indeed a new king. So that means you're willing to take on a portion of Wang Jinyang's debts. Right? Fuang Bin snorted with disdain. Do you think I wouldn't? Don't say such unpleasant things. It's just a rule of the school for upperclassmen to make things difficult for freshmen. A short-haired male upperclassman said, while beside him, a red-haired individual shouted loudly. You, just arriving at school and already standing out like this. Even without the matter of Vong Kim Duong, we will still come to find you. The senior student chuckled lightly. Let's do it this way. You just made a breakthrough. And we don't want to take advantage of you. I'll give you a month. After a month, a first-class martial artist will challenge you. Fuang Bin's gaze turned cold as ice. A life-or-death duel. Not to that extent, after all. We are all students of Ma Vu. We won't go too far. But in the heat of the moment, injuries are bound to happen. And continuing on, breaking through the first-class joints 3 times isn't much different from peak first class. Is it? The new king must maintain the dignity of the new king. Fuang Bin, what do you think? It's fine. It's up to you all. After saying this, several of them left. Fu Trong Din hastily urged. Why are you being so stubborn? If you don't pay them any mind, they won't dare to do anything. Fuang Bin, with a sharp gaze, replied, I want to experience what a martial artist truly is. What fierce competition feels like. The boy, having crossed time to 10 years earlier, successfully activated his exterior and learned a kick that could pierce through a person. Reaching the upper-class transformation, Fuang Bin was dissatisfied and resolutely accepted the life and death challenge from the senior student. On Saturday, at Lu Fuang Niu's request, Fuang Bin went to the training hall for new students. He was puzzled as to why there was someone else there. It turned out to be True Tuyat Mai, who had chosen Lu Fuang Nhu just like he did. Fuang Bin felt a twinge of disappointment. Thinking that Lu Fuang Nhu would teach him alone, he stepped forward and greeted True Tuyat Mai. The two shook hands and introduced themselves for a while, then silently held hands for a moment. Fuang Bin was sweating profusely. I'm so sorry. Where is Lu Fuang Nhu? Hey, Fuang Bin, could you let go of my hand? Oh, I'm sorry. Fuang Bin quickly retracted his hand. True Tuyat Mai quickly broke the awkward silence, saying, I heard that in a month, you will be challenging the senior students. It's not really a challenge but rather you being challenged. True Tuyat Mai said with concern. Many senior students are peak first class. Even though you are the strongest among us, you still won't be their match. Right? Fuang Bin scratched his head. Let's see when the time comes. True Tuyat Mai looked helpless. You really don't seem worried at all? Oh, you two are quite lively in conversation. At that moment, Lu Fuang Nhu walked in. I've heard everything. You accepted the challenge on your own. No one advised you against it. Then shot Fuang Bin a disapproving glance. I thought you were someone who valued life. But looking at you now, you're no different from an ordinary person. Fuang Bin retorted. We're all first class. I want to test my strength a bit. Rather than just being bullied. That may be true. Today, I called you all here because you are already martial artists. Stepping onto the battlefield is also part of your journey. Thus, you must learn to fight and protect yourselves. With that, Lu Fuang Nhu delivered a powerful kick. And instantly, a massive crater appeared before Fuang Bin. He was taken aback, hastily giving a thumbs up as he looked towards an unexpectedly sharp yet simple corner. That's a real wooden stake. Lu Fuang Nhu raised her head high and calmly said. The move just now is part of the martial arts technique called thrusting kick. As the name suggests, the essence lies in the thrust, concentrating the vital energy at a point before it erupts, directly targeting the opponent's temple. The throat is the gateway to life. A strong kick can pierce through an opponent. That is the goal. True Tuyat Mai trembled, asking, if this technique hits someone, will it truly kill them? Impossible. The strategy is the art of killing. And from the very beginning, we prepared for this. You must understand that from the very first day you set foot in the martial arts academy, you are no longer an ordinary person. You are destined to fight on the brink of life and death. Do not consider any battle as child's play. Once you step onto the arena, it is a fight for survival. Whether your opponent is a classmate or a friend, even one day, Fuang Bin, if you are forced to face Vong Kim Duong in the arena, you must be determined to defeat him, even to the point of killing him. As Lu Fuang Niu's words washed over him, Fuang Bin felt a chill run down his spine. Fuang Bin couldn't help but frown, a question bubbling up. What exactly is a martial artist? Lu Fuang Nhu stepped closer, gently placing a hand on his shoulder, saying, consider this challenge a test mission. If you succeed, I will grant you a surprise gift. The boy, having traveled back 10 years in time, awakened a special power, quickly grasping the lethal techniques. Lu Fuang Nhu led Fuang Bin and True Tuyat Mai to the newcomer training center, a place prepared to impart invaluable secrets. The two stood, rubbing their feet, as the vital energy in Fuang Bin's right leg gradually dissipated. Then, his legs firmly planted, he slowly exhaled. Lu Fuang Nhu clapped her hands and approached, smiling as she said, your ability to comprehend is quite impressive, isn't it? Fuang Bin shyly replied. As long as I master the force of the pull and the violence, everything will become simple. Beside him, True Tuyat Mai's eyes glistened with tears. What do you mean simple? I still haven't grasped the force of the pull. Am I really that foolish? Fuang Bin began to show signs of arrogance. It's not necessarily foolish. There's no need to compare. Some people are simply born smarter. True Tuyat Mai, angered, immediately threw her shoe at Fuang Bin, then made a series of expressive hand gestures. Lu Fuang Nhu reminded True Tuyat Mai, don't let Fuang Bin disrupt your rhythm. He is truly exceptional. You need to maintain your breath and rhythm. True Tuyat Mai shouted back, turning her anger into motivation, and began training again. Meanwhile, Fuang Bin thought to himself. Am I not comforting her? Why is she reacting so strongly? Truly, a straightforward man. Lu Fuang Nhu felt a bit sleepy. But the tension still hung in the air. She asked Fuang Bin to demonstrate once more and pointed out the mistakes. Fuang Bin agreed, gathering his energy into his right leg, drawing strength from his shoulders, and channeling violence from his entire being. In an instant, Fuang Bin trembled all over. Lu Fuang Nhu was astonished. You're so foolish. I just wanted you to practice a little. Not to kick the wooden post. Lu Fuang Nhu pointed at Fuang Bin, who was kneeling on the ground, turning him into a prime example for true Tuyat Mai's lesson. True Tuyat Mai felt a thrill of joy in her heart. A moment of glee ensued. You scoundrel. Who underestimated you? Lu Fuang Nhu yawned again. That's enough for today. Go home and digest it properly. We'll continue tomorrow. With that, Lu Fuang Nhu walked out. Almost forgot. She turned around and looked at Fuang Bin with a disgusted expression. Remember to go to logistics and get a pair of alloy shoes. The pointed kind. Fuang Bin broke out in a cold sweat. Are you planning to make me wear pointed alloy shoes on stage? The foot jab technique will truly showcase the power of Lu Fuang Nhu. A single kick can pierce through a person. The boy had traveled back 10 years. Not only activating his external appearance but also learning a kick that could pierce through a person. Fuang Bin sat on the sofa, watching Hoang Chao Cash. It has been a long time since I called home. I wonder how they are now. Hello, Mode Tay. Fuang Bin, do you still remember to call home? I thought you no longer needed us. The Fuang family took turns crying. You foolish one, how could I not need you all? I have good news for you. I have passed and become a martial artist. What? The entire Fuang family was astonished. Haha, what a stroke of luck. Tan Zhen Bing joyfully exclaimed. This kid just enrolled and has already become a first-level martial artist. Indeed, this brings honor to our clan. After speaking, Tan Zhen Bing approached and embraced Fuang Bin's father, Fuang Lao Di. I have something I want to discuss with you. Now that Fuang Bin has become a martial artist, it's not quite fitting for you to continue being a security guard. Tomorrow, you should report to the hour department. The office is short-staffed. It's filled with secretaries and assistants of the leaders. How can this place be suitable for work? Truly, thanks to my son, I am blessed. I never expected to become an official in this lifetime. The scenery shifted, and Fuang Bin arrived at the equipment exchange. Can you make me a pair of alloy shoes? The staff looked at Fuang Bin's temporary martial arts certificate. You are not yet a martial artist. Alloy weapons can only be exchanged by martial artists. But I already passed a few days ago. Then you must go to the second floor to place an order. Change your temporary certificate into a permanent one, and then come back. Thus, Fuang Bin made his way to the second floor. Just as he was about to knock on the door, it swung open suddenly. Oh no. There's no water. The author must get a like. Wasn't this the person who had attacked Fuang Bin from behind during the division event? Duong Tiu Man pointed her index finger. Isn't this Tan Vong? The one who avenged the female student at the division event. She suddenly leaned closer to Fuang Bin. I heard that you will challenge the senior students next month. Are you really going to challenge the female students again? Fuang Bin raised his finger. If possible. I wouldn't mind, but I heard Duong Tiu Man say that female warriors are often looked down upon. This is discrimination against women. Duong Tiu Man immediately panicked, pointing at Fuang Bin and shouting, don't label me like that. You could stand at the top before simply because we lacked experience. This time, the opponents you face will be seasoned warriors who have endured fierce battles. You're just waiting to take a blow. Fuang Bin scoffed. I disagree with that. In this resource-rich world of Ma Vu, those who remain at a low level can only be the ones who do not practice diligently or lack talent. What's there to fear about such people? Undeniably, this display was truly impressive. The young man, just returned from 10 years ago, despite having some advantages, still needed to quickly refine himself to possess divine equipment. At this moment, Fuang Bin stood before the refining shop, and Duong Tiu Man seriously reminded him, don't underestimate your opponents, otherwise you will pay a heavy price. Fuang Bin smiled confidently. Thank you for the reminder. But I will never underestimate anyone. Nor will I be overly self-deprecating. Duong Tiu Man's face turned bright red as she turned and walked away. Fuang Bin entered the refining room and saw an old man with a bald head sitting on a chair. Behind him was a refining machine. The old man pointed at the machine and said, leave your mark on this steel, and you will become a master of weapons. No matter how you do it, just make sure to leave a clear trace. In that case, I will try the technique I just learned. Fuang Bin suddenly kicked, and the steel immediately dented. The refining machine emitted a sound of ding ding ding, then announced, complete. The old man operated the computer for a while, then handed Fuang Bin a martial arts certificate. The previous temporary certificate is now void. When you pass the martial arts academy, you will be awarded 50 credits, effective immediately. Before you surpass the 3rd rank, you must refine here. Fuang Bin looked at the certificate in his hand and curiously asked, what about the 3rd rank? The old man glanced at Fuang Bin. Don't dream too much. Let's talk when the time comes. After thanking the old man, Fuang Bin left. The old man looked at the traces left by Fuang Bin on the machine, thinking to himself, a newcomer who just passed the 1st rank and already possesses such strength. It seems this year's Ma Vu has many outstanding talents. With that thought, the old man pressed a small red button. At that moment, 2 5th-year students entered. One bent down to examine the traces on the machine, saying, the strength is somewhat dispersed, a bit chaotic, still quite far from the peak 1st rank. The other scoffed, then he will definitely lose. Indeed, unless he can reach the peak 1st rank in a month. But no one can achieve that in just 1 month. Go back and tell those in the competition team that they can rest easy, victory is assured. With that, the two left the room. The old man beside them merely sneered. What a bunch of fools, who would suddenly unleash their power during an examination. Although he knew that gathering information about opponents was quite clever, such irresponsible information only harmed others. The power that the young man had just unleashed was only about 200 cards, while his true strength was definitely over 240 cards. This competition promised to be incredibly interesting. The young man had returned from 10 years ago. After spending a significant amount of money, he finally acquired his first piece of equipment. After completing the classification, Fuang Bin went back to the equipment exchange counter. The staff announced, the shoes you want are a type of special weapon. They need to be custom made and will be ready in a week. I see that with your abilities. You only need a little metal. With that, he began calculating the cost of the shoes. After a moment of calculation, he said, you need a total of 40 credits. Fuang Bin's eyes widened like 2 bronze bells. That's too expensive. Fuang Bin felt heartbroken. 40 credits equated to 120 million. My family only has a little over 80 million. He trembled as he handed 5 credit notes to the staff. Also, give me a paper tiger made of earth-level alloy. The staff replied, sure, no problem, just let go of your hand. The staff took out a wooden box, inside which was an exquisite paper tiger. Little did he expect that this small paper tiger also required credits. Fuang Bin couldn't help but shed tears. Being an artist is so costly. Just received the fighter module, and it's already all gone. I need to quickly find a way to earn some money. First, let's inquire about the situation at Li Tantak's company. The scene shifts, and Fuang Bin arrives at a cafe, where Fuang Tong is loudly calling, Li Tantak, over here. Fuang Bin pulled out a chair and sat down. This little company still calls itself the general director? Just call me Mr. Fuang, that will suffice. Fuang Bin took out a wooden box, saying, inside are 10 ordinary pills that I won't be using for now. Sell them for funds to support the company's activities. Thud. Li Chengjia suddenly closed the box and said seriously, Mr. Fuang, you should focus more on martial arts. Business is secondary. If you overlook the resources of martial arts for the sake of business, that would be truly absurd. Fuang Bin began to show his arrogance, mainly. I don't need it right now. I just surpassed the 1st rank with a normal blood vessel. I have no more value. Li Chengjia was astonished. What? You've already surpassed it? You are truly terrifying. You've surpassed it in less than a week of attending classes. Then expanding our company's business will be much easier now. Fuang Bin casually tossed a blood vessel to Li Chengjia. I told you. As long as you do well, I will definitely help you become a master. I will definitely help you become a martial artist quickly. Li Chengjia clenched his lips, his eyes ablaze with determination. Suddenly, he stood up and bowed solemnly to Fuang Bin. Thank you, Mr. Fuang. I will give my all for the company. A week later, Fuang Bin arrived at the logistics department of Ma Vu and received a pair of custom alloy shoes. These shoes are incredible. Though made of metal, they feel as soft as clouds when I step on the ground. Of course, our Ma Vu Crafting Academy is top-notch, the old man with silver hair said with a smile. After saying this, the old man led Fuang Bin to the area for testing the power of the shoes. Here, you can freely experiment with your weapons. The young man had traveled back 10 years. But unlike his previous life, this was a world that revered martial artists. where the strong devoured the weak. At this moment, the old man with silver hair carefully examined the steel in his hand. The penetrating force isn't bad, if the leg bones are perfectly refined. Even martial artists will have to be cautious. Then, he smiled faintly, waved his hand, tossed the steel away, and stepped outside. The new generation is indeed growing stronger. Here, you can freely explore your strength. The young man from the future returned 10 years prior. But unlike his previous life, this was a world that honored martial artists, where the strong devoured the weak. The old man with silver hair was intently observing the steel in his hand. The penetrating force is impressive, if the leg bones are perfectly tempered. Even martial artists will have to tread carefully. He then wore a mysterious smile, waved his hand, tossed the steel away, and exited the room. The new generation truly is becoming stronger. I should just stay here and enjoy my old age. Looking back, yet another outstanding talent emerged. Time flew swiftly. In the training room, Zhao Shui Mai urged Fuang Bin. You challenged someone, yet there's no sign of action? Could it be cancelled? Not at all. It's just tomorrow. Zhao Shui Mai was surprised. Why didn't you say so earlier? Tomorrow, I'll bring Xiao Man and the others to cheer for you. Fuang Bin shook his head helplessly. It's not like it's Guo Jia Jia. Why bring so many people? True Tuyid Mai exclaimed in disappointment. We're from the same teacher. When I see others, their relationship seems so close. You really aren't enthusiastic at all. Immediately afterward, True Tuyid Mai angrily retorted, but it's true. If it were Tiu Man or Van Qi, you would certainly be much more eager. Fuang Bin felt helpless. You think too much. It has nothing to do with appearance. Besides, you're not ugly. Hearing Fuang Bin's words, True Tuyid Mai's face suddenly flushed. Are you serious? Of course. Everyone who is praised is beautiful. True Tuyid Mai was lost in a blissful joy. Her eyes sparkled like stars. But before she could react, Fuang Bin continued, however. You do seem a bit uncared for. You look just like a boy. True Tuyid Mai immediately became furious, gripping Fuang Bin's shirt tightly, angrily saying, are you implying that I'm not only ugly but also lack femininity? I'm just being straightforward. Fuang Bin quickly explained. Why is it that every time I try to comfort you, it only makes you angrier? At that moment, Lu Fuang Nhu approached. Tuyid Mai, you should go back first. I have a few things I want to say to Fuang Bin. After True Tuyid Mai left, Lu Fuang Nhu turned to Fuang Bin. Your last move can be considered somewhat successful. But remember, on the battlefield, life and death are unpredictable. The challenge competition among first-year students is in need of the presence of the dean, or respectable master. Lu Fuang Nhu looked at Fuang Bin seriously, emphasizing that on the battlefield, fate can be determined. Fuang Bin disdainfully replied, I have no enmity with them. How could they truly want to kill me? You truly possess a childlike spirit. This duel is led by Lu Vin Van, an outstanding third-year student. He currently stands at the peak of the third rank and has a younger brother who was once a prodigy of Ma Vu. But last year he had his ribs broken by Vong Kim Duong and is still lying in the hospital. You know, losing valuable training time. His martial path has essentially come to an end. Fuang Bin frowned, exasperatedly exclaiming, this Vong is truly untrustworthy. He appears gentle yet acts ruthlessly, causing me so much trouble. I must remember this debt. Lu Fuang Nhu took out a second-tier blood essence pill and handed it to Fuang Bin. When the time comes to unleash your strength, your success or failure will depend on your luck. Fuang Bin looked at her in surprise, sensing the seriousness in her words. This sister really shows no mercy for her students. The next day, in the hall of the Ma Vu Martial Arts Club, a professor stepped into the arena. The head of the club's diplomatic department, Chu Dean, cast an annoyed glance at him. The students are merely practicing. What business do professors like you have here? The student Chu truly has a loud voice. I dare not. It's just that there's a student of the professor participating in the trial. I hope the professor will not interfere. Professor Zhang was so furious he ground his teeth, saying, this martial arts club increasingly looks down on others. Chu Dean, with a cold and piercing gaze, did not leave the man's side. I am not reminding you, I am warning you, if you dare to interfere, the martial arts club will not hesitate to crush you. Professor Trong was so furious that his face twitched. Rendered speechless, Chu Dean paid no mind to his anger. Turning his back as he descended from the arena, he simultaneously commanded the blonde girl beside him to notify several members of the martial arts club to come and assist. Suddenly, his gaze halted, directed towards the hall's entrance. I will go announce the dean to witness. Who would have thought that even Lu Fuang Nhu would come? Who exactly is this kid, on the battlefield? Life and death are fated. Young man, are you ready? At that moment, Lu Fuang Nhu entered the hall, leading Tru Tuyid Mai. He replied nonchalantly, "What do we need the dean for? I have no intention of causing trouble. A student dying calmly is not a big deal. Rest assured, with me here, if Trong Quoc Nyan dares to meddle, I will not hesitate to act." His tone was calm, yet his words carried an air of solemn authority. Indeed, the title of champion was not given lightly. Yet, where had that kid Fuang Bin run off to? At this moment, Fuang Bin was lost, panting heavily as he sought his way to the dojo. In the hall, several seniors were shouting, "Why hasn't the match started yet? Is the new king afraid to show up?" Just then, the door suddenly swung open, and Fuang Bin stepped in with an awkward expression. "Sorry, I got lost," Chu Dean inquired. "This match is voluntary for you, correct?" Fuang Bin replied nonchalantly. "What would happen if I said no?" Hearing Fuang Bin's words, a person named Tiu Cap immediately stood up and shouted, "Fuang Bin, be careful with your words. You are the one who accepted the challenge, no one forced you, shut up." Chu Dean slammed his hands on the table, rising with a gaze sharp as a blade. "I am asking Fuang Bin. It's not your turn to speak." A few underlings immediately broke into a cold sweat. Afraid to even breathe, Chu Dean declared loudly, "The battles in Ma Vo are not merely exchanges, they are fights to the death. But there must be consent from both parties. If one party does not wish to, the challenge will be invalid. Ma Vo has granted the Martial Arts Club the authority to maintain order. Thus the Martial Arts Club must disclose all matters. If anyone is coerced, the Martial Arts Club will certainly intervene." After a passionate speech, Chu Dean turned to Fuang Bin once more. "This match is voluntary for you, correct?" Fuang Bin stepped into the center of the arena, affirming, "I assure you, no one is forcing me. I volunteer." Chu Dean reviewed the documents in his hands, announcing the rules of the match to everyone. As Fuang Bin was a freshman facing his own challenge, he had priority and could propose reasonable conditions within the rules. "Fuang Bin, do you have any requests?" Fuang Bin pretends to ponder for a moment before activating his Tang Seng mode. "First, the seniors cannot use cold weapons. Second, I request a compensation of 1 second-tier blood essence pill from the seniors. Third, no one is allowed to bring along Fuang Bin." Upon finishing, Chu Dean immediately interjects, "So, what do the seniors think?" Everyone looks towards Lu Vinvan. Lu Vinvan ponders for a moment, then furrows his brow and says, 4 first-tier blood essence pills. Or else the match will be considered void." "No problem," Fuang Bin replies with a satisfied smile. Unexpectedly, a mere jest earns 4 first-tier blood essence pills. Truly marvelous. Then the challenge is acknowledged, the match begins. At Chu Dean's call, a third-year student from the Weapon Academy, Trong Quoc V, steps onto the battlefield. Fuang Bin squints and asks, "What is your surname?" "Senior? My name is Tran Quoc Long, a third-year student of the Weapon Academy." Fuang Bin immediately begins to attack his opponent's psyche. "I just enrolled and have never offended any seniors. Why do you wish to challenge me? Could it be that Senior Tran was defeated by Vong Kim Duong?" This move is truly exquisite. Yet Fuang Bin has no intention of stopping. Tran Quoc Long's face flushes with rage, unable to contain his anger. At this moment, in the stands, Lu Fong Na cannot remain seated, shouting loudly, "If you want to fight, then fight. If not, just admit defeat." Why all this chatter? Below the stage, the younger brothers shout in unison. Fuang Bin smiles lightly, having achieved his purpose. "All right then. I admit defeat. Do you truly think I will concede so easily? You're far too naive to crush this ripe fruit. Then you have mistaken the wrong person." Faced with a formidable opponent, Fuang Bin immediately unleashes all his power, delivering a devastating strike. Tran Quoc Long looks at Fuang Bin with suspicion. "What game are you playing?" Fuang Bin innocently replies, "You're merely at the peak of the first tier. I have just entered the first tier. Right now, I only need to preserve my life. Admitting defeat isn't an issue. Is it?" Chu Dean gently reminds. "Admitting defeat is fine. But you need to think carefully. If you concede before even fighting, the path of martial arts ahead will be fraught with challenges." Fuang Bin raises his hand. With no other choice left, they are at the peak of the first tier. What if they seize the opportunity and kill me? Lu Vinvan loudly asks, "Fuang Bin, what exactly are you trying to say?" Fuang Bin coldly responds, "I only want to ask if you truly intend to kill me. Do you truly wish to kill me?" The corner of Lu Vinvan's mouth curled slightly. "No one intends to kill anyone. But martial arts battles are inherently full of surprises. Sometimes, losing control is an inevitable fate. Fuang Bin smiled. I understand your point, Lu. If that's the case, I shall bear no psychological burden. I disturb no one. Perhaps this is merely a case of anger misdirected? Having admitted defeat, you still wish to make things difficult for me? Very well, I shall not concede any longer. Chu VM could no longer endure Fuang Bin's rambling. The fans have been waiting for this moment. Fuang Bin shouted fiercely. Let the duel begin. He immediately launched his attack, delivering a powerful kick right from the start. Tran Quoc Long quickly raised his left hand to block it, secretly mocking within his heart. I've trained extensively, such a kick cannot possibly hit us. But in an instant, Tran Quoc Long was taken aback to see Fuang Bin's toes pierce through his arm, blood gushing forth like a torrent. What? Tran Quoc Long's rage surged uncontrollably. Enraged, he swung a punch toward Fuang Bin, but Fuang Bin bent low to evade it. Immediately after, he clenched his hands tightly, rapidly gathering his vital energy, and unleashed a powerful strike. In a moment of urgency, Tran Quoc Long only had time to raise his right hand in defense. Bang! A loud sound echoed. Fuang Bin's fist connected directly with his hand. Tran Quoc Long grimaced and quickly followed up with a left punch aimed at Fuang Bin's face. Yet, Fuang Bin bent low again, like a scarecrow refusing to fall. Seizing the moment, Fuang Bin executed a left kick straight toward Tran Quoc Long. You wish to attack my lower body? Not so easily, Tran Quoc Long thought, quickly reaching out with his right hand. Once I capture you, it will be your end. However, in that split second, Fuang Bin unexpectedly withdrew his left foot, shifting his attack in an instant. Before Tran Quoc Long could react, Fuang Bin's right leg swung toward his head. A sharp crack echoed, and Tran Quoc Long's skull shattered, Fuang Bin's toes piercing straight through his temple. Fuang Bin retracted his right leg, and blood gushed from Tran Quoc Long's head like a fountain. Within Tran Quoc Long's pupils, life gradually faded, his body collapsing to the ground. As Tran Quoc Long fell, the arena fell eerily silent. No respite needed. I desire a chain of corpses. Who will be next? The young man declared confidently. Just moments ago, Fuang Bin had felled a top senior with a single strike. As they watched Tran Quoc Long's body growing colder on the arena floor, the spectators remained utterly silent. Several medical staff quickly brought a stretcher onto the stage, carrying Tran Quoc Long's body away. Tru Tuyat Mai and Duong Tiu Men trembled uncontrollably in fear. Witnessing this scene, Fuang Bin suddenly thought of his family. I truly fear for my life. I have important people to protect. Fuang Bin said, his head bowed in regret. I don't intend to kill anyone, but my strength is limited. Lu Vin Van, with a grim expression, replied, no need for such words, once you step onto the stage. Life and death are your own responsibility. Fuang Bin smiled lightly, appearing enlightened. I was indeed worrying too much. Let's continue then. Don't you need a moment to rest? No need. I've booked a train ticket for this evening, once this fight is over. I'm leaving. That kid is really confident. A curly-haired boy jumped onto the stage. I am Trong Quoc V, a third-year student of the Weapon Academy. Earlier this year, Wang Jin Yang broke half of my ribs, and I couldn't cultivate for half a year, which means my martial arts path has been cut in half. With my limited aptitude, I can only go so far. Without a powerful family backing me, I could have graduated in the top 3, but now I can only settle for the bottom. Wang Jin Yang is about to reach the 4th rank. I no longer have a chance for revenge. Therefore, if your martial arts were taught by him, it would only make sense that I seek you out for vengeance. Trong Quoc Wee's expression gradually turned ferocious. Either you kill me, or I kill you. I have no relatives or friends who are martial artists. If I die, all grudges will vanish. If that's the case, then let's begin, Fuang Bin said, as soon as the sound of the crane from Chu Yen ended. Trong Quoc Uy suddenly unleashed a powerful punch. Fuang Bin hurriedly tilted his body to evade. What incredible speed! With a successful strike, Trong Quoc Uy immediately continued his assault, his fists raining down on Fuang Bin. With no choice left, Fuang Bin crossed his arms in front of him to defend against the blows. Instantly, Fuang Bin was forced back step by Trong Quoc V. Seeing Fuang Bin fall into a passive state, the girls became anxious. Tiu Man, do you think the fans still don't like him? That can't be true. Trong Quoc V, confidently in control, pondered. Fuang Bin has just entered the 1st rank. His vitality is limited. As long as I stabilize my approach, I can wear him down. Immediately, another punch was thrown. Fuang Bin's face turned pale. Gasping for breath, Trong Quoc V felt even more pleased. It seems this kid won't last much longer. Let's see how many more punches you can endure. The two underlings in the stands excitedly discussed. Indeed, the gap between the first rank and peak first rank is too vast. This time, victory is assured. True Tuyid Mai anxiously exclaimed. Fuang Bin, you fool, quickly take the elixir to recover your vitality. Lu Fong furrowed his brow, clearly seeing that Trong Quoc V was applying overwhelming pressure, giving Fuang Bin no second to take his medicine. In an instant, Trong Quoc V charged towards Fuang Bin. Why can't you stand still? This time, I will avenge Wang Jin Yang. Go die. The young man, pushing his limits, completed his counterattack. At that moment, Fuang Bin's vitality was nearly depleted, and Trong Quoc V was ready to strike decisively. A powerful punch. Die. Fuang Bin. Suddenly, Fuang Bin's eyes lit up, consuming 140.000 points of resources. His vitality completely restored. What? Trong Quoc V's eyes widened in disbelief. And in the following instant, with a look of terror in his eyes, Fuang Bin launched a kick. Instantly, Fuang Bin's toes pierced through Trong Quoc V's temple. Thud! A sound echoed. And as Trong Quoc V fell, the arena erupted into chaos. Lu Vin Van gaped, unable to comprehend. The supervising teacher frowned. How could Fuang Bin's vitality suddenly recover? He had clearly exhausted nearly all his strength. Lu Fong Na furrowed her brows. When did that guy take medicine? Ha! Who would have thought? I activated a skill. Fuang Bin clenched his fists, gritting his teeth as he said, let's continue. Chu Dean hesitantly asked, aren't you going to take a break? No need, I am in a hurry. Then let the next challenger step onto the arena. As they watched Trong Quoc V being carried away by the medical staff, Lu Vin Van and the others fell into silence. Chu Dean spoke again. Invite the next challenger to the stage. At that moment, a trembling boy with purple hair raised his hand. I concede, he said with a reluctant tone. From now on, I will devote myself to martial arts training, whether it's 1 rank or 2. Perhaps martial arts are not meant for me. With that, he stood up and left. A girl beside him noticed the anguish on Lu Vin Van's face. I paused for a moment, then resolutely grasped the girl's wrist. So be it, we shall concede. My face darkened as I said, we are not as good as them, losing is only natural. Fuang Bin, do you know, my younger brother was once greatly expected by our family. He was once the hope of our clan, but now, after being gravely injured by Vong Kim Duong, he lies motionless in a hospital bed. His life forever halted at first rank. Lu Vin Van chuckled coldly, his gaze sharp as a blade. I do not say this to belittle you, but simply to remind you that in the world of martial arts, there is no right or wrong, only power. If Vong Kim Duong can cripple my brother,